Clair Obscur Expedition 33 launched this past April, and since then it's broken records and surpassed any expectations that the studio had. The music, the gameplay, the world, the story, the characters really blew everyone away. And we're getting more. In an interview with Mr. Matty Plays, Guillaume Broche, Clair Obscur Expedition 33's creative director, confirmed that not only is Clair Obscur Sandfall's new franchise, but also that they're working on more. This isn't too surprising, since back in June they said on their socials that they were working on accessibility features, new content, and all sorts of bits and bobs. But apparently it's more than just DLC for Expedition 33. Instead, this game is the launching point for a brand new franchise by Sandfall. Broche says, "Clair Obscur is the franchise name. Expedition 33 is one of the stories that we want to tell in this franchise. Exactly what it will look like and what the concept will be is still too soon to announce. But what is sure is that this is not the end of the Clair Obscur franchise." Additionally, when asked about any plans to release a DLC for Expedition 33, Broche says, "There might be, it may be a bit too early to say." And he also says, "We may be cooking." And he said all of this with a smile and a tease. So with both of these statements, what is next? For the possible DLC for Expedition 33, the team and official socials have mentioned possible DLC several times, but what could that actually be? Small quality of life adjustments have already been something that they're working on. But as far as actual content, I could see more hairstyles, more outfits, maybe some combat challenges, maybe make the casino accessible, or even add more minigames. But I think it's hard to imagine more story content for Expedition 33, since the story feels so final. Maybe they could put some of the cut content back into the game. Clair was supposed to have more content originally, but it got cut during development, and she's become a bit of a fan favorite. They could explore more with her on the outside. Maybe they could explore more of Verso's flashbacks and his life inside the canvas, or even show more of the real Verso. They could show more of the real world. Maybe they could add new areas. I don't know. It's hard to imagine more of what we got, because what we got felt pretty neatly packaged as a full story. As far as an actual sequel, which Broche mentions, I think quite a few people have expressed wanting a direct sequel to Expedition 33, but I feel like this story is over. Both endings feel final, and even if there is an unknown element to them, I think that's part of the point. I think I'd rather see another new story, something in the same universe where the writers and painters and their magic abilities exist. But I think we've seen the last of the Desandre family, and I think that's how it should be. Broche also said that he prefers to forget previous work when he writes sequels, and he also has mentioned being inspired by the Final Fantasy games, which are separate stories within the same world. Could this be where Clair Obscur is going? We could meet more writers, more painters, and even if the twist of the painted canvas world is already revealed, I still feel like there's so many possibilities for the foundation that they've laid. Maybe they could even go back and tell stories of past expeditions, but we already know how those stories ended. I think I'd just like to see something new. And it's going to be interesting to see what Clair Obscur is. They haven't really defined what Clair Obscur is as a franchise. The term itself means chiaroscuro, which means light and dark. It's an art technique. But as a franchise, does that mean the world, the characters, or just the themes of the story? What elements of Clair Obscur Expedition 33 will make up this new franchise? And what will they leave behind? If they make a new world, they'd also have to abandon the world building and assets that they already created and essentially start from scratch. I genuinely don't know where they'll go next, and that's so exciting. It's awesome to see Sandfall succeed like they did, and for people to enjoy this new game with this depth of storytelling. I can't wait to see what they do next, and also how they establish this new franchise. It also sounds like their success has changed them, but also kept them grounded. Broche says that they're trying not to change their future plans. He doesn't want to let the success or money change them or their studio. They're laying a strategy down for what they're doing next while keeping the same pace and size of what they had to create Expedition 33. Their first game was really a test, a way for them to kind of figure out what they're doing and how they work together. And because of that, the next one will be even better because of it. Clair Obscur Expedition 33 really came out of nowhere and surprised everyone. And its success is absolutely deserved. It has a unique spin on turn-based combat, it has compelling and complex characters, and the world is absolutely beautiful. But more importantly, I think the reason why the game has touched so many people isn't necessarily for its explorations about grief and art, but how it treats the player. It's a show don't tell type of story and world. So much of the writing and clues about the character and story are hidden instead of being handed to the player. Instead, it gives the player the clues and leaves things up for interpretations. But it treats the player as being intelligent enough to figure it out. It's why I personally love exploring this game and its meanings. There is so much depth to the writing, and I think that's the best part of it. So rarely do I feel like games use their world to tell a story alongside everything else. And Clair Obscur Expedition 33 is really about creation, meaning, and how we relate to it. And their commitment to the artistry of it is why it's so good. I can't wait to see what they do moving forward. It'll also be interesting to see what they do. They've really come out swinging with their very first game being this massive success. So now everyone is kind of looking to their studio to continue with that. Any new content, any sequels, or anything set within the Clair Obscur world will inevitably be compared to Expedition 33. The expectations are very high for the future of the studio, and they know this. Broche says that even when he was trying to write the sequel and think of ideas, he keeps subconsciously comparing it to Expedition 33, which he's trying to stop doing. They're all trying to find their way back to how they created Expedition 33, without compromise. And that means leaving Expedition 33 behind. But not just yet. While the Sandfall team is busy thinking about the future of the Clair Obscur franchise, Expedition 33 is still getting some kind of new content, new DLC, or bits and bobs. And after that, who knows? But Sandfall isn't done with this world, and I'm excited to see what they do next. But let me know what you think. Did you love Clair Obscur Expedition 33 like I did? And do you want to return to that world? What type of DLC would you like to see? And what are you expecting from a sequel? If you're looking for more Clair Obscur Expedition 33 analysis and character deep dives, I'll link my videos below, and I do plan on doing more of these in the future. But anyways, let me know what you think. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you to my channel members. Thank you to my Patreon members. Thank you all so much for your support, and I'll see you next time.